Hey friends! MOBAs, one of the greatest internet sanity tests in the gaming community. The destroyer of accountability, the ender of dreams. An online soy sauce addiction of a horrifying gameplay mechanic consisting of violence, murder, and dark satanic rituals. A lot of people get drawn to it, a lot of people want to quit it. Despite the fact that these victims are adept at utilizing different mechanics and can perform under intense pressure, they continue to be sucked in, ignoring their real responsibilities with a worsening sad reality that they can produce positive relationships spending 15 hours a day in a game that enforces 50% win rate and rewards difficult social behavior, feeding egos over fictional accomplishments. If you know someone with this kind of mental dilemma, please kindly pull them away from a computer and seclude them in the most remote locations possible. With that out of the way, Esports Godfather, a turn-based auto-battle MOBA card game where we remove the worst parts of any MOBA game and replace them with AI-generated anime characters. A game where we tear teenagers apart from their families and force them into a career of gaming and part-time jobs, developing these once innocent teenagers into modern entertainment for your own desire of achieving international success. There's a lot of options to choose from, like the degree of difficulty, playstyles, equipment, and the monthly version changes. The most interesting one are the athletes, because you have the option to genetically engineer your own homegrown team, modifying their personality, skills, name, and appearance. Now, I can finally make my dream team of 5 Koreans. This game is LGBT friendly, plus size positive, approves interracial dynamics, and indiscriminate to people with intellectual disabilities. You can also pick the more rational option of randomly picking a group of students who don't care about their future prospects. This is how the game truly works. Each team will have their own ban and peak paces. Then the game starts and your players will automatically move in their respective lanes and fight for control. Cards will start to pop up and selecting them can turn the game's momentum, with basic maneuvers such as roaming the map, initiating fights, and farming efficiently. The objective of the game is to destroy the enemy's base. However, if the game turns too deadlocked, there are also side objectives like contesting giant monsters to gain gold, experience, or tame them into submission. Finally, if every person is a tryhard, the game will force everyone in a 5v5 balls to the wall fight to settle this stressful match. The next step is to develop your own players by forcing them to get good, stop being one-trick ponies, and share them freely with the good graces of the online community. Fight another team and rinse and repeat until you get a headache from the same music repeatedly. It has a simple gameplay loop with a great deal of possibilities. There are 5 roles in the game, namely the top, mid, bottom, jungle, and support, each having their own set of heroes with various abilities. The top mainly dons the brawler types. Most of the time, nobody cares about them. They whack each other, poke one another, and try to smash the other's tower. The bottom is probably the most chill. You stay, you farm, survive, and poke with the other bottom. People who stay at the bottom are delicate and require tender loving care. Thankfully, they're not alone. The support's entire existence is to groom our one true carry and develop them into an absolute unit. A support stays together with our ADC because gold is king, and this little freak can theoretically solo the entire enemy team. The mid is probably where most players lose their sanity or morality in real life, mostly reserved for the mage class, but can also adapt to different kinds of heroes. Flexibility in this role is a double-edged sword, capable of ganking both side lanes, has the shortest distance to the enemy base, and yet vulnerable to being screwed over by one active roamer. The jungler, the wild ones whose sole passion is poaching innocent animals and bullying. They have the most involved role as they participate in many battles that may dictate the team's momentum. Depending on the difficulty, you can either snowball the lanes or find yourself desperately looking for crumbs in the hope of having a winning chance. Your players are fucked, both in the game and financially, unless you put your pieces in the right place. Know which heroes work together, which heroes counter another, and finding the best timing for a surprise smackdown. Heroes are the main focal point of every battle. Sure, your esports gamer can have the optimal muscle memory to click a mouse button 1,000 times. But they can't really overcome their hero's weakness, and when that final fight starts, you might be weaker than the enemy, even with gold disparity. So, knowing your heroes is a bit essential. They have their own unique abilities that cater to a specific playstyle. They can be a pusher, a futuristic MLRS TEL vehicle, or a dedicated capitalist pig. Consider using athlete and hero skills to produce multiple creative ways to gain the upper hand. One of my most favorite heroes is Dylan, a terrible producer of grey market medication, with his best-selling items being homemade Adderall, Mexican protein powder, and Chinese herbal remedy. Each one enhances a hero of your choice and can be used repeatedly for only a small fee. Assemble a team where we can exploit this by finding people who love digging. And what do we find? A rich 80s disco man who loves scavenging, and a South American shaman who makes suspicious elixirs. Adding in from the shadows is a vampire demon lady who sucks up gold from a target of her choice. Throw in a random freak and we assemble a team whose sole purpose is to generate and weaponize gold. Go to the zoo and make every captive animal there your entire team. Overwhelm them by numbers by adopting weird stray dogs. Kidnap a traveling eagle with his pet ranger and get yourself a homeless dog man. Now, grab a monkey and trade unfairly. AoE-centered offense is truly a thing of beauty. If the cards are right and the items are available, this machine can truly hard carry without a sweat. He works wonders with a composition that forces big fights to terrorize the entire battlefield. Pushing something? Why don't we get the perfect hero for conducting destruction of property? A tank who really hates erect objects. A willpower so high, he has the power of motivation to destroy these godless inanimate pillars. But we want fights. We want everyone to hold their own and make it a living hell for the enemies. Devise a team where we weaken the enemy and boost our own strength. With these German-sounding names, it's a squad that not only looks like a metal band, but also benefits from long drawn-out fights. If you really want to have fun in all paces, fighting is the best. There's so many ways to create a fighting team. A lot of heroes can just jump, roam, or downright sprint to initiate a brawl. Assassins can crit to pick a kill and send them home. A group of fighters can sustain a lot more. Or just say, screw this, my brain has rotted too much. Let's go, pick a random hero because I've seen the pick ban pace a million fucking times. Let's talk a bit about strategies. One valid strategy is to put your eggs in one basket, ignoring all roaming activities of early to mid-game, sacrificing the resources of less important roles, and farming extremely hard. By the end, it's all gonna come down to that one beautiful gold mine to absolutely hammer the entire enemy squad. All bottom laners love it, and it's very boring. Focus on your jungler and pusher. Make effective ganks, send them crying, and swiftly destroy towers. This shuts down the other jungler's maneuverability and opens up a way to demolish the enemy base quickly. Meta is determined by in-game version changes, and it could be anything. Towers getting harder, more common critical chances, jungle monsters dropping more gold, the ban pick pace that I never cared about, items available, to the timing of contesting giant monsters. Take advantage of these version changes and you might have a chance to win. I mean, the game is easy, to be fair. But if everything fails, just pray that they somehow take a bad fight, then immediately close it afterwards. Otherwise, your team is, unfortunately, greatly atrocious. As you climb through the ranks and run through the season, several features will be unlocked. You get the ability to gain better training sessions by pushing your luck into a mechanic that has befuddled mobile gaming casuals. Training is all about using the right side of your brain to boost your spatial awareness, fitting in puzzles, trying to compress as many brain cells to these innocent people while simultaneously sacrificing one training body for the benefit of the group. Through the power of friendship, you can kick anyone in the team and replace them with younger, more versatile recruits hungry for the most competitive matches in the cutthroat business of esports gaming. Establish a youth academy where you can train rookies while they're still young, impressionable teenagers and hold them hostage by coercing them to a non-negotiable bond with no monetization in the promise of making it as an esports athlete. However, if your athletes do stand out and perform phenomenally, they may win individual awards like Player of the Week, Player of the Month, or become the coveted seasonal star, producing more rabid fans to your organization, which can be converted to useful points. And finally, every training, every match, and every business bullshit you could possibly make is all for the cause of winning the ultimate trophy and engraving yourselves to the ages of champions. And when the season ends, the dance begins, the shuffling starts, and a new season is underway with new version changes. Esports Godfather. It is a game I imagined a long time ago existing, but never has been until this year. A game that fully removes the toxicity, match fixing, and partially mitigates the frustration while compressing every MOBA aspect to its core component. No gimmicks and no drama. Just pure theory crafting, fighting, penetrating the enemy base, and abusing the meta. Overall, I very much enjoyed this wonderful game, and it seems they've guaranteed that they're gonna develop it further for many months to come. Highly recommend it. With that, my final score, 10 out of 10. Now, I'm gonna enjoy my headcanon of my players developing into a rom-com. Play it, enjoy it.